we are discussing India Eternal. Those who are regularly attending almost all of you, you know that India is a country, and how that can be eternal. Eternal is something which is eternally without any change remaining. But the country, obviously it is changing all the time because of the geographical changes, etc. But actually by India, it is not the geographical form of the country or the land, but the philosophy that developed over there. So we are discussing that. And the beginning of this, we used to chant, let us chant this again. Ya ekavarna bahudha shakti yogat varnan anekan nihitarth dadhati vichaiti kante vishwam adau sadevah sano buddhya shubhaya samyunaktu. Again, we find that is the speciality of the Indian system, that who is one. So, ya eka varna, that who is one, who is above all color distinctions, who dispenses the inner needs of people of all colors, who comprehends all things from their beginning to the end. Let him that unite us to one another with wisdom, which is the wisdom of goodness. So this is the prayer. And we find this the very, very special. Why? Sa no buddha subhaya samyunaktu. So let it purify even the Rabindranath also quoted this and then translated. So let this become purifying our wisdom. This is very important. How the wisdom will be purified? How our thoughts will be purified? Sometimes by hearing, some people can do it. And sometimes some people, they themselves can understand the meaning of it and can move. Majority of the people, they need some examples. When they see the same thing, some ideology manifested in the lives of other people, then they are inspired. Then they understand, okay, we can follow like this. So that is why in Mahabharata we find so many varieties of characters. And all the time that we have noticed, the Vyasadeva, he has wonderfully depicted these characters. And finally, we are now studying the characters of the three great queens. There were so many great ladies, women, and the queens who dedicated their life, developed so many things, but only we have chosen three. So out of the three, two we have already, Kunti and Gandhari, we have already discussed. And in our last discussion, that we discussed about the Gandhari, and Vedabhyasa said about her, that is really very interesting. Vedabhyasa said, she is the embodiment of righteousness. The Gandhari is the embodiment of righteousness, dharma. Gandharya dharma shilatam. The Gandhari is the embodiment of righteousness, the dharma. So now we are interested to know about the dharma, about the righteousness. And what is really dharma? When we study the character of Gandhari, we get a lot of information by observing, seeing, noticing how she is behaving in different situations. When people are very happy, they may say many good things. and they can discuss about many wonderful, but when they are challenged in a difficult situation, that time only comes that can you stick to that condition? Dharma and righteousness, high moral values, can you stick even on that condition? That is the thing. And Gandhari, even in supreme crisis of our life, she without hesitation sacrificed a narrow, personal, selfish interest and embraced the causes of virtue and righteousness. Now, here we can notice that sacrificed what? Tyaga. Tyage naike amritatta manashuhu, they say, without the tyaga. The moment we think about the tyaga, we always think that we give up whatever we are having. There is one kind of tyaga. But that is not the ultimate. The ultimate tyaga is narrow, personal, selfish interest. That is the tyaga. We have to again remember narrow, personal, selfish. A mother, she naturally will pray for her children. A mother naturally pray for the family. That is not the very narrow thing. It is necessary. But when the crisis, that Gandhari was a queen, so obviously the whole country that time expected the decision from that great queen, and she gave that decision. Her husband was supporting a son who was not at all righteous. And Gandhari went on giving him, Duryodhana, a lot of advices about righteousness. And she said again and again, we find in the Mahabharata, that if you are not following the path of righteousness, path of dharma, you are going to be ruined. And you are not an ordinary person. You are not alone. You are a king. So when you are making some mistake, along with you, you take thousands of people, and their fate is also attached, associated with you. So when an ordinary person committing some mistake, that effect is very less. It is only he, maybe his family. But when a king making a mistake, so that's why we will find in the Mahabharata, Vyasadeva, he will be telling why it was necessary to give the punishment to the Kshatriyas. They became very, very egoistic. They were supposed to serve the society, instead they were sucking the society. So that Gandhari is telling, after losing 100 sons and other relatives, Gandhari stood firm and maintained her queenly qualities. Her faith in dharma, righteousness, does not shake. The motto of the Mahabharata, yato dharma tato yaya. We know in the beginning itself, we studied the Mahabharata, every page we find that this is the motto, yato dharma tato yaya. Sometimes some people, they think, even our monastic brothers and also sisters, nuns, that we should go and we should meditate because we should do like this, we should do like that. I told, see, you are making a mistake. Our motto you have to see. When you are joining, you must understand where you are coming. There are many different organizations, there monastic organization with, they're all monastics. But there is a goal is fixed. So when you are coming to this organization, what is the goal? Atmana mokshartham jagat hitaya cha, and. You cannot deny the jagat hita. You cannot simply think about your Atma. Oh, I will go in a quiet place and meditate and I will get the liberation and I will go. No, that is not. Then you should not be in this organization. You are welcome to do that. Thousands of people have already done, thousands of people will be doing the same thing. So the motto, when we are following the path of Mahabharata, what is the motto? Yato dharmas tato jaya. Where there is righteousness, there is success. this, what the and then we find Gandhari, the whole life that she was depicting following. From the day of her marriage till the last day of her life, Gandhari remained to honor her blind husband, blindfolded. She never opened that till the death. We know the last day, all the three of them, Kunti, Gandhari, and Dhritarashtra, they were in the forest waiting for the final departure, final death should come. And death came in a very, very pathetic way. And sometimes in the forest we also experience over here in America, particularly in California, it takes suddenly as a whole forest is burning. Same thing happened at that time. People were flying, but the rishis, they were also going down to save their life. These three quietly sat in one place and they were going on meditating. They knew that this is the way we have to die. There is no hurry. They sat over there, meditated, and they were consumed in the fire. Kunti also didn't leave. Her children, sons, they were the kings. She could come down. No, she was also there. And Gandhari. Gandhari and her husband, they created all the problem for Kunti's children. Even then, this is the character of Mahabharata. For little bit thing, we cannot forget, oh, your father and grandfather, he did this. Why can't we forget that? Kunti, direct that experience, direct the problem, because of Dhritarashtra, she had to suffer a lot. But at the same time, she told no. At this moment, Gandhari, you open the eye. Dhritarashtra is blind by birth. Who will guide them? Who will help them? Who will serve them? Kunti dedicated her life for the service of these two who were blind, but at the same time, who were the cause of all miseries for her own children. And not for 1 or 2 days, not for little bit thing, for so many days. If this is not sacrifice, then what is sacrifice? If this is not righteousness, then what is righteousness? If this is not dharma, then what is dharma? So this is the great way we find the Kunti, and also Gandhari. She is not also living, and she knew that I am the queen of a king who cannot see. And if I go on observing these things, the reflections will come in my mind, and I will go on giving the comment, and I will try to guide my husband, and this way, that way, I may make mistake. This is not my job. I won't go do that. So whatever are my responsibility, I will perform. This great sacrifice. She could take the opportunity to rule the whole great India, as because she could see, naturally she could influence the decisions of the great king, Dhritarashtra, who was blind. But she didn't do that. But this is not my job. So these are the great qualities that we find in Kunti and this Gandhari. She has become immortal in the minds of millions because of her unparalleled qualities. So just now, as we were discussing that, how to understand dharma, how to understand what is religion, how to understand what is righteousness, a character. And now, the main pivotal character of the whole Mahabharata is Draupadi. Valmiki's mind-born daughter was Sita, and Vyasadeva's mind-born daughter was Draupadi. So we know that two great history, and they call it epic too. And there are two great characters, the lady characters. The one is Sita, and Sita was depicted in a wonderful way by Valmiki. How Valmiki could depict that? In his meditation. He could see what is going to happen. Who is coming down in the form of Sita, how she will be formed and what she is going to do, what are her duties. Everything he knew. So he depicted the Sita. We read, we see, we hear, we comment, but we do not know what actually in the previous things that happened. When in the modern time, Sri Ramakrishna was commenting about Narendranath, nobody believed that. And now, it's only 100 years before, we can understand everything was true. Before Narendranath was born, the great sage Sri Ramakrishna knew everything what is going to happen. Before Draupadi was born, this Vyasadeva also knew what is going to happen. And in the Adi Parva of Mahabharata, he is mentioning, Vyasadeva is mentioning, Sarva Yoshit Dara Krishna. This is the another name we will find, Krishna. Ninikshu Kshatriyan Shayam. Surakarjamidam Kale Karishyati Sumadhama. Asya Heto Kauravanam Mohat Utpatsate Bhayam. Now he is mentioning in the Adi Parva, in the beginning itself he is mentioning. You don't blame me that I was knowing but didn't tell it. I told it. And how could he say this? Even before the birth of this, the Draupadi, what she is going to do, and she was born, why? The most beautiful lady among all the women of the world. Krishna is born to perform Surakarya. Sura means the gods. Surakarya, the divine duties. For that only she is coming. She is taking. Because of her great, and because of her, great fear will come for Kauravas, and the great part of military caste, Kshatriyas, will be destroyed. Why? Because the egoistic people now, and they were having the physical power, muscle power, and they were torturing people. They were supposed to protect the people instead. They were torturing people. So dharma sthapana karya, to establish the religion, again we find Krishna is coming. To help Krishna, another power of God is coming in the form of Draupadi. She was not an ordinary lady. Sometimes many people, they talk about her in different way, they criticize, they don't know actually. So this is the Draupadi. The king Janak found Sita while ploughing the land. Sita came out of earth. And the king Drupada, he gained Draupadi while performing spiritual sacrifice, yajna. So Bedi Madhyat Samutpanna, and again in the Adi Parva we find Bedi Madhyat Samutpanna. She is coming out of the yajna. So obviously her name was Yagyaseni. Hence the adopted daughter of Drupada became Yagyaseni. Drupada used to perform a lot of yajnas. And he was having some of the rishis, some of the people who knew the perfect mantras and knew how to do it. By that way, so he used to do a lot of things for gaining, for gating and all that. And that's why Yajnasen, his name was Yajnasen. So adopted daughter Yajnaseni. He had a son Drupada and he wanted a daughter. So performed that yajna, and from there came. In the Ramayana also we see that same, the king, he is performing yajna for the children. So for the progeny, and this also. Bedi Madhyat Samutpanya, that's why he is Yagyaseni. Because she was the princess of the kingdom of Panchala, her name became Panchali. And because she was the daughter of Drupada, her name became Draupadi. But the Vedavyasa, Vyasadeva, who is composing the Mahabharata, called her Krishna, because her complex was not very fair but little dark. So Krishna, on beginning itself. It is said at the behest of the Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi advented as Krishna. That is the comment of the Vedavyasa. The Shiva requested the Lakshmi to take the form of Yajnasaini, Krishna, Draupadi, so that the God's work can be performed. What is the work of the God? To establish Dharma. Whenever the Dharma is becoming in trouble, the Krishna himself is coming, the Lord Vishnu is coming. And to help Vishnu in the form of Krishna, Shiva is sending Mahalakshmi. So the Lakshmi is coming. Mahabharata describes her beauty as indescribable, abarnaniya. So her beauty was abarnaniya. She was so beautiful. So it is only Lakshmi can be said in that way. That she was abarnaniya. She was so beautiful. Her body emitted the fragrance of the blue lotuses. In the marriage assembly, Swayamvara Sabha, we find again the Arjuna. This is the first time we meet Draupadi in the Mahabharata. She is appearing, the birth was there, afterwards we came to know, but actually she appeared as a Draupadi in this marriage ceremony, and that assembly was there. The Swayamvara Sabha, that was the system in those days. Now, we know that the great disciple of Drona was Arjuna. Because of the Arjuna, Drupada was defeated and humbled by the Drona. To take revenge, Drupada wanted that he should have a daughter so beautiful that Arjuna should be attracted and come and marry her, so that naturally your disciple, but my son-in-law. So that was the planning, and suddenly Arjunas and all others, we know that in the beginning that they were hiding somewhere incognito, they were living in those places, so they were not knowing where these people are. They, in the form of, they took the dresses and the behavior of the Brahmanas. Brahmanas were highly respected people. So wherever they go, people used to respect them. So when the Swayamvara Sabha, 5 young Brahmanas, they came, it was all right. So they were allowed to come and sit. They were sitting. But we know how difficult it was to perform that feat, that fixed for the person who will be able to watch. Yo boi kulena rupena bolena yuktaha. It says, then who will be able to marry Draupadi? Yo boi kulena rupena bolena yuktaha. 3 qualities are necessary. First is kula. His family lineage should be good. Second should be rupa. He must be very good looking. Third, balena. He must be heroic and physically powerful, because the Kshatriya. So, kulena, rupena, balena, these 3 qualities only Arjuna could do, and all other Pandavas, of course. No one could be successful, not even the Duryodhana. Duryodhana could not lift even that. Forget about fixing the jaw and all. So, and then only one person, to some extent he was able to do, that was Karna. Karna was about to shoot the arrow when suddenly the Draupadi shouted that I am not going to marry this person because his kula is not correct. Naham varayami sutam. Na aham varayami. I am not going to accept Suta. Suta means Sutaputra. They were considered as a lower grade. The Karna then left the bow and arrow, looked at the sun and smiled and went away. He didn't say anything. So Karna knew that he is the son of sun god, but he didn't say anything. So that is the Karna. Then no one could do, and when all the Kshatriyas failed, among the Brahmanas one young person came, and that was Arjuna. Arjuna married, and things were like that. People, they were protesting. They were almost attacking the Drupada, the king Drupad. Now this time, Drupada, it was his prayer, his desire, Arjuna should be by his side. Arjuna did. Then this time, Arjuna and Bhima, they went to fight for the Drupada, and Drupada was happy. See how God satisfies all our desires. The little bit of this type of desires are all satisfied. So that is the wonderful way. If we notice the things are happening at the same time, something subtle at the behind, that is all planned. So Drupada wanted Arjuna's protection, and Arjuna protected him on that particular time. And this is the time when we first see the Krishna. At the time of discussing the life of Krishna, we discussed that this is the first time that Krishna also appeared in Mahabharata, and he was introduced with the Panchapandava. The Panchapandava, they were related, and Draupadi and Krishna, they were related also. And this, after the marriage, that was supported by each and everyone. But the problem began in another place. Usually, they used to live under the garb of the Brahmanas, and Brahmanas were supposed to go and beg from the society and survive. They should not be, they were not allowed to perform the economical work for their livelihood. They were only to perform yaga, yajna, research on the spiritual life. That happened. These 5 brothers, they used to go out. They were not Brahmanas in reality, they were Kshatriyas, but even then, at that time, and the mother used to live in a small hut. The Brahmana is not expected to live in a comfort, so she was living in a small hut. Every time, whenever they used to bring some food, they used to collect from different houses, they used to bring. The mother from the distance, where they used to say, "Mother, we have come, we have brought this, distribute among yourselves," like that. So many times she said. This time also, same way, with great joy, when they declared, the mother, "See what we have brought," without coming out and seeing what it was, as usual, she said, "Distribute among yourselves." And that was the mother's command. So from here, a great difficulty arose. And the first problem is, in the beginning, the Yudhishthira and other brothers, they refused. "No, it is not possible. Why should we?" The Yudhishthira told, "No, she has girlanded, accepted Arjuna as her husband. We cannot, just like that, we cannot." And other brothers also supported Yudhishthira. But the Arjuna told that since the mother has given us the command, and every time we have followed that command, we must have to marry her. All the 5 brothers, we should do that. And when this was going on, then the news naturally reached to Drupada. Drupada came with his son and told, "No, this is not allowed. We cannot." Drishtadrumna and Drupada, both of them came and told, "No, we will take back our sister." When the great commotion was happening, what to do and what not to do, and then suddenly intervened by Vedavyasa himself. Vyasa appeared, and then Vyasa told this Drupada why this is happening. This was only for the reason that they should be united with one lady. Other wives were also there, we know the afterwards. But one lady should be there for the unification of the five brothers. That is necessary because these five brothers should be united, and with that unity, a great power will emerge, and that will destroy those Kshatriyas, powerful Kshatriyas, like Jayadratha and others. So this is the thing, it has been destined by the gods, you have to accept. Then the argument came that in the human society this type of marriage is not there. So how can you do that? Then he revealed, Vedavyasa revealed, they are not human. You know that Draupadi, he was born out of the sacrificial fire. She is not a human lady. And all these Panchapandavas, their fathers are gods. That our Panchapandavas' fathers were Dharma, Vayu, Indra, and Ashwini Kumar Daya. The Dharma, his son was Yudhishthir, and Vayu was the Bhima, Indra was the Arjuna, and Ashwini Kumar Daya are the two brothers. So obviously you cannot consider that they are only human. Their foster father was, that we know. But this is the way he solves the problem. I told this is necessary and it should be accepted. We must understand in the Mahabharata it is very clearly mentioned that just before the eye of not only Vedavyasa but many other rishis and also the other senior people of the Kauravas, this marriage was taken place. In the society it was accepted. And we find in the whole, almost all the pages of the Mahabharata, nowhere it was criticized, only one place where Dushasana called her in a bad name, Draupadi, because Dushasana also lost her mental balance that time, and etc. So we will come to that. After convincing, the Vedavyasa declared, Sarvesham Draupadi Bharaya Bhavishyati hina Shubha. For the betterment of these Shubha, Shubha for all, the betterment for all, for the happiness of all, the Draupadi should be the Bharja of all these five brothers. And now we find the Draupadi. She was the princess and she used to live in great comfort. The princess of great fame and who grew up in comfort and care came after marriage to live with her husbands in a humble cottage. Because they were living in a cottage, in a humble cottage they came, and did not hesitate to lie on the floor, and that too, there was only one room in that cottage. And there was no space, there was no place where she could lie down, because mother and the five sons, they were then near their feet, she used to lie down. Just so humble way she lived. She started taking care of the mother-in-law and also the husbands, and without grumbling, she was doing this work. The same type of character we find in the Ma Saradamani Devi. Whenever the personalities, the mother personalities we discuss, and in the particularly from the perspective of the Indian culture, is only sacrifice, is only purity, is only love, and at the same time, tremendous courage, decision, intellect. In the Draupadi also, we find the same thing. The same Draupadi when came to live in the palace built by the Maya Danava. Nowadays, the Danava, the word Danava, is derogatory. We always think that bad people, they were bad people, they used to fight with the... No. Danava was those who were very good engineers. In those days, that was the Danava. This S.N. Rai, in his Indology, he is mentioning that Danavas, they were very good people. And they were very good engineers also. But the Indra, Devaraj Indra sometimes used to feel jealous of those because they were performing wonderfully. So Indra was thinking that Indra was the king of the gods, all demigods. So he was thinking if they become very powerful, maybe someday they will So naturally it goes on. In the present day world, what is happening? All the countries are trying to help apparently, but at the same time, most of us, we do not know their hidden agenda is not to allow other countries to come up. You remain as it is, we are going to help you, it is always there. Except in India. India never crossed her border with fire and sword, as Swamiji told. Always wanted to give, and India was so contented because of the philosophy. They knew all this is temporary. Why should you go and unnecessarily grab the property of others? They never crossed their border to grab the property of others. Rather, they went out to spread the message of peace and progress. This is the characteristics of the Indians all through. But other people came, captured India, and they always wanted, even today, all the so-called advanced countries, they are helping India, no doubt, but at the same time, not in the level that you also come up like us. No, you be like there, and we'll be helping you. And if there is no one to give the alms, then what I am going to do with my money? The people should say that I am helping. So there also it was same way it was there. Indra, a king of the gods, they were good people, they were also very capable people, and they were educated people, and in the one way. Danavas were also the different type of people. They say Mohenjo-daro, Harappa was constructed, built by those people. But anyway, these are all little controversies are also there, but they were very capable people, particularly. So this Moy Danava, the name of the person, architect was Moy, and then the Danava. If you go to the CS Tower, the first thing they will show you who was the architect. The contractor came and did, but the person who thought that this can be done, that this is the architect. Moy was that type of architect. And it was so wonderful. Even the people, when they came, they saw there's a pond, so they were avoiding the pond. And when they saw the real pond, they thought this is just open space. They wanted to go. We know that there was those stories. Duryodhana had that problem. So, and only from there, so Duryodhana and all his brothers came and saw, and this is the Atmiya, we call Atmiya, that we are related because we have the blood relations, and they really become very jealous of everything. Suppose I see somebody is successful somewhere, not related with me, that is okay. But if my brother is successful, oh my God, how it is possible? I will always try to say or do against it. This is human nature. So that character also depicted over here. These people came, and after seeing their success, because they were very heroic type of people, all the 5 brothers. So obviously, when they sent out the Ashwamedha Yajna, Rajashuva Yajna, I am going to claim myself as the supreme king. I'm not grabbing your property and the kingdom. You'll be the king, but you have to accept me as your supreme king. And you have to pay some taxes. So that way, most of the kings, they used to, who will fight with these people? So they accepted. He became the great king, Raj Chakravarti, they used to say. So Yudhishthira became the Raja of the whole Mahabharata. And naturally, Draupadi became the queen of India. So sometimes some people, the traditional people, they say, well, it's not the British queen. Our queen is Draupadi. The queen of India was Draupadi. Because the whole India, that was under the capture of this. And these Pandavas, they became so successful. Draupadi was also the same way maintaining. This is the wonderful thing. When she was suffering, she was not grumbling, no complaints. She was doing the same way as her husbands and the in-laws, etc. But when in great the lifestyle, and she became the queen of the powerful king. Same lifestyle, as it is, with all dignity and everything. One of the brothers of Duryodhana commented afterwards that it is only Draupadi. She was taking care of each and every guest that was there present, and not only taking care, each and every guest took food when they were satisfied. When not a single soul was left, Draupadi sat for her own food. Can you imagine? She was the great queen, but at the same time like a mother. So that is the characteristics of the Indian women. When Swami Vivekananda gave a talk in that, the Indian women, these are the qualities of the Indian women. Our women are now confused. Education is apart, there's a different thing, whether the modern education, but the qualities are these: sacrifice. And then we find that she took her food only after feeding. So they used to call the Daya Rupa. Her compassion was great. She used to take care. Dice game. So before the dice game, she told Yudhishthira it is not good. But the problem with the Yudhishthira was system. In those days, this was the system that if a Kshatriya gets an invitation of dice game or the war, you are supposed to go. A time came when whole of Europe and also in America, if somebody is throwing his gloves before you and challenging you to fight, the one fight will be there. In America, a lot of those things were happened, and so many people they died. So I am not going to fight with you in another way, and I like to give you punishment, maybe killing you, but the open, everybody will be there, and the lawmakers are also will be there, and law maintenance also will be there. That was the system. A person, he knew that I won't be able to be successful with this person because he's as a very swift shooter. I won't be able to take out my gun. Before that, I will get the bullet. But even then, you have to accept. That was the system. And here also, in the Mahabharata time, all the Kshatriyas, if you get the invitation to play the dice, you have to accept. Yudhishthira could not say no. Not that he was not knowing, not that he was addicted for the game, no. He only maintained the custom. That's why no brothers complained. But the only Bhima, short-tempered, he was very angry. Why can't you put the pauper the dice? Yudhishthira told, I am trying. But the thing is, the luck is not with us. All of them. Afterwards, the Krishna, the Draupadi didn't say anything. But when Yudhishthira told that she is also, they claimed, you have lost your brothers, you have lost your all property, everything. Now only one thing left, your wife. So also you have to put her. So that was a very, very nasty way. Yudhishthira told, okay. The lady immediately, the Draupadi, immediately questioned, go and ask. When he lost himself first, he has no right to claim me as his wife. See, in that situation also. And she came, and when they forced her to bring back, because that was the only thing that happened, and because of that, the whole Kaurava, and along with the Kauravas, the Kshatriyas got the punishment. And that was the actually game of the gods. They were making in such a way. She came, all the great Kauravas were sitting, Bhishma, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Vidura, all great soul. They didn't say anything. Why? Bhishma knew what is going to happen. And Bhishma also indirectly supported that this family should be destroyed. He knew that Krishna himself knew what is going to happen to the Jadavas, but they became so egoistic after the success after success, because they became very powerful. They started insulting even the Krishna Balarama. Because of their power, they were successful, but they were not listening to them even. So Krishna knew that the destruction is coming. Though whenever there will be the ego manifesting, you know that for sure is going to be destroyed. When the personal, individual, and if it is society, same thing happen. So this is the way. But he was arguing, no, you cannot do that. And when everybody was quiet, she told, how come that I am not actually, they cannot offer me. I don't belong to him legally. They knew everything. They were quiet. Then she is telling, Dik astu nashta kalu Mahabharatanam. Dik, fie on you. Astu this, nashta kalu Bharatanam. Nashta means you have destroyed, you are destroying Bharata. What is that Bharata? India eternal. We started. The India is not a country, but its principles, its philosophies, its practices. So when she mentioned as Bharata, this is this, she didn't never mention about only the geographical boundary. She was mentioning about where were your all these moralities. You are supposed to protect me. So she was telling that. And another very special thing that we find, that she was having great faith in Daiva Kripa, that is the divine grace. When she understood that no one is going to protect her, we know that they wanted to strip her, and she prayed to Krishna. She knew who is Krishna. So this we sometimes, when we are studying the Mahabharata, we do not notice. Krishna, the Draupadi, she knew who is Krishna. Krishna was God himself. Very few people knew that time. So, but Draupadi knew. That's why twice in the Mahabharata we found that she is praying to Krishna. First is this time, and she is praying to Krishna, protect me. And there are also some, the story goes like that, if you have donated the cloth to others when they needed it, then you will get. That was the condition. So that is the teaching, that if you want something from the God, you have to give it to the human being, those who need it. The Krishna, Draupadi told, yes, I did, and then it came. And this is the called divine grace. And I'll be going to visit India. There in the mother's house, we call it Mayer Badi, the mother's house, where Ma Sharadamani Devi used to live in the Bagbajar area of Calcutta. They have asked me to give deliver a talk. The influence of the divine grace and human effort and karma phala in spiritual growth. So these are the examples. That she tried her best, Purushakara. Her personal effort was there. At the same time, she is getting the blessings of God, and no one could do any harm to her. And she was forced afterwards by the Dushasana, and she fell on the ground. And afterwards we find that Dhritarashtra became very much afraid, because all the three great Kurus, that the two Acharyas and also the Bhishma, they left that. When they forced her to fell on the ground, they left that situation. And then he became very much afraid. And Draupadi's face was becoming completely changed. The mother, that that sometimes we find the Divine Mother having two aspects, a graceful aspect and destructive aspect. The graceful aspect is the Jagadhatri, the destructive aspect is the Kali. And when that was there, Dhritarashtra came to know from the Vidur or someone that she is becoming very angry, then it will be very difficult. Afterwards, Dhritarashtra mentioned, if only Draupadi wants, whole Kuru Vangsha will be destroyed. She was having so much of power. So when that was there, immediately the Dhritarashtra told, Draupadi, I want to give you boons. Ask me boons. So that means that way, whatever you will ask, and that will be granted. The first thing she asked, they give our Yudhishthira, make him free. He should not become a slave of anyone. He should be free. And then second boon, this is granted, Yudhishthira is free. Second boon, our other brothers should be free. Okay, this is granted. Third boon, because the Dhritarashtra wanted to make her happy. Then she commented, so one should not be greedy. I am getting the boon and whatever I want now you will give, I know. But I want only these two, I have already asked and you have also granted. I don't need anything. So this is the challenging time when she could ask, arrest this Duryodhana. She didn't do that. Punish these people. She didn't do that. Or give me this much money and all that. She didn't do that. So she was so much control in the mind that we should understand. And when all these things were happened, everything was settled, Karna, of all people, he commented, today was the last day of the Panchapandavas. Just like a boat crossing the people from one shore to another, this Draupadi saved the Panchapandava today. Then he is commented, this lady today saved the great heroes. So that was and even in that condition she did not forget her courtesy. That is also wonderful to notice. When all these things were over and she got up and she was going back to her quarter, then she turned to these people and said, I am supposed to offer my respect to all of you. You are my seniors. But because of the Dushasana, he was not allowing me to do anything. I couldn't do that. Please forgive me and accept my salutation. Can you imagine? In that condition also she didn't forget what to do and what not to do. And this is the way the different things we learn from this Draupadi and the great queen. And afterwards, when they were once again, even before they went back to their the kingdom, once again he had sent the invitation. This the Duryodhana. They knew that once the invitation you have to accept, again they accept, again they came back, again they played, again they lost, and then afterwards they went into, we know all those. And also Draupadi followed them. And she was there and serving them. And there's no problem for her. Only thing she told, you have to take revenge because they have insulted me. Why? So we have to understand that if the husband is not protecting the wife, the husbandship, that we can say that glory to become a husband is lost. The more than the destruction of the Kauravas, she wanted that her husband should be get respect from the society, and people should say afterwards in the history, they should remember they took revenge. Pancha Pandava couldn't do anything. Just before their eyes, their wife was insulted and they couldn't do anything. So naturally, Perpetually people will be discussing about that. Husband means do something like that. And in the Sita also, she didn't agree to come along with the Hanumana. Hanumana could bring her. Hanumana also understood, and Sita also told her Rama should come. Why? The honor should go to Ramachandra. Here also we find these are the point that we don't notice. We always think that she was very much insulted and she constantly thought that this should be punishment should be there. Apart from that, another thing was there in her mind as a wonderful wife, always wanted to see that her husband is respected. And as a Kshatriya, the great respect is this, that they protected not only others, but they were great concern for their wife also. So, naturally, Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira, he told, forget about that, everything is over. She went on telling, never. And the Indian ladies, they have the long hairs. She told, I am not going to tie it unless you are punishing them. This will all the time remind you that you have to do something. So she went on doing like that. And what to do, because the elder brother was their leader. Other Pandavas, they wanted to do something, but the elder brother was telling, no, it's okay. He was going on doing. That we have given the word that we will be in the exile for this many days and incognito for this many days. We must perform that, and then we will send our the people to have the before going to fight, we should have all other things also, negotiation. If they agreed to give back our property and our kingdom, it's okay. Like that he was thinking. But then she was telling Krishna came to meet them. And she was telling Krishna, I am not having any husbands, I am not having the children also. I am not having you also. Then the Draupadi was telling. That's a beautiful way she was mentioning to Krishna. Naiva me pataya santi. Oh Krishna, I don't have husbands. If my husbands were there, they are supposed to protect me. Instead, so I think that I am not having the husband. Over this, a great drama came. Nathabati, Anathabat is in a Bengali drama and wonderfully depicted. One lady and no other character. And she was going on telling the stories. And that was very, very unique. If you understood the Bengali, you could enjoy that. Nathabati. Nathabati means one, a married lady. Nathabati. Nath means he is having the husband. So one who is having the husband, Nathabati, but Anathabat, as if the orphan is nobody. On this statement of the Draupadi, and she is telling in the Bono Parva, she is telling, Naiva me pataya santi, na putra, na cha bandhavaha. I don't have any children, my sons, and no friends. Na bhrataro, na cha pita. I am not having my brother, and not even my father. Naiva tvam madhusudana. And finally, she is complaining to God, even you are not with me. Naiva tvam madhusudana. We all know that Krishna and Arjuna, the god and the what's called the devotee, they had that relation of friends. This Draupadi was also having the friendship with Krishna. Draupadi is told, see Krishna, you should protect me. Why? Because of the 4 reasons. And she is telling, Chaturbhi karanai Krishna taya rakshami nityashaha. You must protect me. Draupadi, why she is telling like that? Because I am a lady. I am not supposed to protect myself. According to the social system, you are supposed to protect me. Either the brother or the husband or the father or the sons, they should protect us. Why not? Why? Because they are Kshatriyas. And here She is telling to the God, you for 4 reasons you should protect me. Why? Sambandhat, we have a relation. And Gaurabat, I am respected lady. And Sakhyat, you are my friend. And Prabhutena, and also my master. So because you are my master, you are my Prabhu, you are my God, I respect you in that way. I am praying to you to help me. Miracles were happening. Even in the jungle when they were hiding over there and living in the jungle, not hiding actually. And Duryodhana and others, they were all the time trying to, how to make them in the difficulties. So they sent one sage, and the sage came and told, I am having 1,000 the disciples with me and we want to take food. You are kings, you are supposed to feed us. A king means what? Now we are living in the jungle. So no, I don't understand that. You have to prepare the food for 1,000 people. We are going for bathing and we will be coming back. Can you imagine? In those days, people used to go to the river, bathing and praying to God, then used to come back for food. That was that much time. Draupadi didn't say anything to the Bhima, Arjuna, Yudhishthira and all the husbands. Immediately she started praying to Krishna. Because Krishna is the Prabhu, Krishna is the Master, Krishna is the God. So these are the points we must remember. Draupadi very much knew about Krishna and her divine power. Krishna was the God himself, Draupadi knew. And that's why, again and again, when it was impossible for her own effort or the effort of her husbands, she was praying for the God's grace. So to get the success, the human being needs God's grace and his own effort. So now afterwards we know that when they were all going back, the long 35 years, by that time the India really very, very great prosperity came, and then after 35 years they told, let us go now for Mahaprasthana. We will go inside the Himalaya, we will go on walking as long as we survive, we will survive and then we will fall and die. So that was the way they were going. They are courageous people. They never waited for the death to come. Either in the war field they will die, or they will die in this process. And just lying down and going on, taking the help of the medicine and doctor, and then only die. Kshatriyas never did like that. Why to take they protected others, and they never cared to get the protection from others. So that was the Kshatriya. When you talk about the Kshatriya, these are the qualities of the Kshatriya. So all the 5 brothers, they started. Mahaprasthana, we know that. And Draupadi also followed. And Draupadi fell before climbing the hill, on the beginning itself. The Bhima asked, why she fell? Why she could not reach the heaven? Then they told, she was supposed to be equal, but her mind, 50% of her mind is to love Arjuna only. So that is the reason. Arjuna showed that I am not doing like that, but of all the 5 brothers, naturally Draupadi is to love. So that is the fault, like that. And we see the great influence of the Kala. Kala means the divine play. Everything happened in her life. Just keeping her over there, all these things are happening. In the Ramayana also we find, because of that Sita, and in the Ramayana Sita did nothing. But over here we find that Draupadi was showing the power, and that power to inspire the other people to perform their own duties. They were Kshatriya leaders. They were supposed to kill others, punish others. When her own children were killed, then she told, unless and until you go and punish the person who killed my children, I am not going to eat or do anything. You must go and punish. So that way, every time we find she is constantly inspiring those people, though they were heroes, but they were losing the responsibilities. And here we find this way, it says, Kala srijati bhutani, Kala samharate prajaha. In Adi Parva, Vyasdev mentioned like that. Don't think Draupadi was the inspiring her husband to go and kill. It was the Kala. All it was destined. It was all prefixed. She only played her own role. Kala srijati bhutani. From the God, it is all are created, and it's the God only that destroy. Daivam purusha karena kunivartitum arhati. So, Daiva, what is already predestined, no one can go beyond that. That is the character of the Draupadi. But finally, I will quote Yudhishthira to close this particular great character of Draupadi. Yudhishthira commented that Mateva Paripalya. Draupadi looked after us as mother. Cha Pujya Jeshteva. And again, she was serving us just like an elder sister, all the time careful about all of us. Cha Swasa. And also the relatives. So this way, Draupadi performed her duty all the time. The great character of Mahabharata. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come over here and to listen, and whatever way I could, I tried to explain. And not that this I read anywhere. Many of the times these are all my own ideas and explanations of the characters. It may be some of you may like it, some of you may dislike it, and all that. Let us take a few questions, and at 12:30 we'll close. Okay.
Swami, there are some paradoxical things for the observer to notice in this one. Now, this is such a great ideal for the Indian society at that time. So, considering from that point and now, how much degradation or how many changes has occurred? Is this just the Kala Mahima, or this is the time how this, because now the ideas what we hear and what has happened in the society, tremendous disparity.
Yeah, this is a wonderful question. The question is that was the level of Indian characters, and now it has come down to this. There are some reasons we all know, particularly historical reasons, and the people from outside, they came and they captured the India, not only political capture, they also changed our characters, cultural, spiritual, religious, and all these things. Though something is going up and then it is coming down, that is the nature. So it went up, and there is to the summit, and this Indian culture, and that is the reason from all over the world people used to go to India to learn not only the culture but also to enjoy their wealth. So they both were developed. They were not poor people, highly rich people. And if you look at the temples, they're all decorated with gold and other costly jewelries. So naturally it shows that it was so rampant, each and every one. But the life was very simple. They used to live a very simple life. Why? Because of the philosophy. So if you more go into bhoga, in enjoying, so you are more bound. So that they never did. But at the same time, both progress was there. So Abhudaya Nisriyasha, that was. Then in the history, 1,000 years is a long, long time. And in this 1,000 years, and both the groups, they came completely different than the Indian cultural group. India only waited for the time to come up. Swami Vivekananda mentioned, when the Britishers came, it became a blessing for India to come up once again. Why? Connection. At the time of the Sultanate, the rule, there was no connection. They were all in a small group and like a cocoon they used to live. But that's all. But the Britishers came, India immediately got connected with the world thoughts. The moment it got connected with the world thoughts, and that original power started coming up and influencing the others. And this present day, the great Rishi Swami Vivekananda, he has very clearly said, now India is the center. And India will conquer the whole world, not with, as it called, the political power, fire and sword, but with spirit. Spirit means the conception, the idea of spirituality. It's not the religion. It's not all the practices that we do, that all people have to accept, adopt, not like that. But the spirit of it, that is, each and every soul is potentially divine. And we have to understand that divinity, that is the goal of every human life. And all these things in the world that we see are all temporary. If we go for that, we will suffer. So this is the way slowly all over the world, directly, indirectly, this thought is influencing. Like from Leo Tolstoy, all other people were influenced by this thought. And Toynbee, the historians, he has completely, very authentically, he mentioned, if we have to survive, if the West has to survive, we must have to understand and follow the path of India. I could not quote the exact words, but these are the meaning. So that way people are understanding. Slowly things are coming up, but it is not showing up immediately. It will take time. So 1,000 years the damages, it may take 2 or 3 or 500 years to repair, and it will be the blessings for whole humanity. The religion we need, without religion people cannot survive. And at the same time, it cannot be the one religion, it will be different type of religions, different type of ideas, thoughts, culture, food habit. It will be there. The differences are very, very natural. But at the same time, with all the differences as it is, one unity is also necessary. We cannot constantly fight. And Vedanta can give us that idea. So this is the reason, once again, things will come, but the responsibility depends on the Indians themselves. But this is their treasure. They should utilize it fast, understand it fast. But unfortunately, because of the, I should say, the lack of planning, lack of proper guidances, it is not coming up as fast as it was necessary, as we expected. The people are not understanding. Those who are the top of the society, they are not understanding it. In the name of Hinduism, some people are mad, but that is not Hinduism that they are thinking of. It is a completely different thing. That Hinduism means some of the practices that they do. Then what will happen to the Buddhists? What will happen to the Jains? What will happen to the Sikhs? What will happen to the Muslims and the Christians? What will happen to the others? All we should kill them and then we will become happy. It's a foolish way of thinking. It's not like that. In the name of Hindutva, we should be united. What is that Hindutva? We have to understand. These great characters can teach us. It may take some time, but the approach should be spiritual approach, not political approach. The politically, immediately effect comes, but the destruction is also very rampant. And we have seen what wonderful religion it was, the Christianity. But when it was influenced by the politics, where it went down. Buddhism, when influenced by the politics, went down. So that is the reason the Hinduism must understand those who they are thinking outsiders, they are not outsiders, they are only brothers and sisters. The Swami Vivekananda is telling Buddhism is the rebel child of Hinduism. He was thinking something else. In the house also sometimes the one son will say, I am not agreeing with you, father. I want this and that. Doesn't mean that he is an enemy. He has the right to express his own opinion. Christianity is the distant echo. You have to understand these things. And then only as Swami Vivekananda vision, the India will be the center of the whole world. Center in this way. Yeah.
Swamiji, one question about the customs, because Yudhishthira was invited for the dice game. He knew it was not right and all these things, but he went because he was challenged, or that was the custom. So the custom takes precedence over the rational thinking and all of the good qualities. That's little puzzling.
That is true. So that is why the two things are there in the society. One is eternal rule, another is customs. Custom changes. Nowadays there is no such customs. There are some people, some places they will have some customs, but we know that afterwards, about the time it changes. In those days that was the bad custom, but it was so prevailed, no one could say no to it. Naturally it takes time, then afterwards, and that is the reason not only the Kauravas were bad, so many things became deteriorated all over the society, and human society was suffering. That's why the God, they came. But no, that they should have changed that time, but it didn't occur, they didn't change. So suddenly one custom introduced that after the death of the husband, wife should also perform this, Sati Pratha. Some one or two they used to have like that, but not all. But it became a custom. And also the widow, once you become a widow, you are gone. You have to live on begging and all these things your life. Who said that? It is nothing like that in anywhere. So this way we have to understand that it was sometimes some people, and for some reason they introduce, and then it becomes a custom, and a few people they will be imposing that. No, this is the custom, that is the custom. Not like that. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna tried to break all these type of things and constantly imposing that these are the main things that you should maintain, which enlighten your mind and at the same time beneficial to others. These are the two things we must always keep in our mind. Enlightening our own soul and beneficial for others also. That's all. Okay, we should say Shanti for 3 times and then close. Thank you for wonderful questions also. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om